We're going to cover touching off on the sub spindle with the lower turret. So in this situation we're going to be touching off H2, tool 22. This is going to be on the lower turret. So the first thing we want to do is highlight diameter or longitude. We're going to come down here and we're going to hit measure set. Now we're going to hold cycle start, and the machine is going to move the turret into a safe position to index, and then move the sub spindle over so that we're ready to touch the tool off. So when I hold the cycle start button, everything is going to move to a safe position. The sub is now going to come over. Now the same thing as the upper turret, as you can tell here, when I move longitude, it's going to be the sub spindle that moves in this situation. This prevents us from accidentally thinking that we're touching this tool off and touching off on the main spindle. It forces us to touch this tool off down here on the sub spindle. So I'm going to move to an appropriate position in longitude. I'm going to move my diameter up. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to touch off on that 1/2 inch block again, and I'll be right back with us when I do that. So I've now touched off on the 1/2 inch block. So we're going to come back over here to longitude. We're going to type in 0.5 and then we're going to hit input, and that's going to set our longitude. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to diameter and we're going to touch off on diameter. So there's a couple options here. I currently have a part in the sub spindle here, so I can touch off on the part. I can also put a bar in the sub spindle that matches the collet diameter, but if it's an odd size collet diameter, that's kind of a pain. So what we can do in this situation is we can do the same thing as the upper turret. We can touch off on the OD of the spindle, and then we can input the information that way. So that's what we're going to do in this situation. So I'm going to come back to you when I touch off with a piece of paper. Now that I've touched off with a piece of paper, I know that the OD of my spindle is 5.625. I'm going to add 6 thousandths for the paper. We're going to come over here, 5.631 is what we're going to type in, and then we're going to hit input. Now we're touched off in diameter for that tool. So we're ready to move on.